Alabama, welcome back to the Republican U.S. Senate.
Tapping into decades as a head football coach, Tommy Tuberville says he's ready to assemble his U.S. Senate team.
You set up a staff. I've done that for years. No different setting up the staff for a football team as it is going up and setting up a staff with 30, 40 people for this position.
With no political experience and a fourth of his opponent's campaign war chest, Tuberville defeated Democrat incumbent Doug Jones by 20 percentage points Tuesday.
Over the last several months, Senator-elect Tommy Tuberville campaigned on his strong support for President Trump and his agenda. But with the presidential race still undecided and Joe Biden claiming multiple paths to victory, Tuberville is faced with having to work with an administration he stumped so hard against.
One thing I learned being a football coach, it's about communication. And as much as about communication, and it's not talking, it's listening. And so I want to work with everybody to get something done.
That includes producing a new stimulus package to help families and small businesses through the pandemic, and proving there's much more to Tommy Tuberville than fearing the thumb.
And I promise you I'm going to do everything for you and your family, for your kids and grandkids, so they can have the opportunity of the American dream for years to come.
Starting on January 3rd, he gets at least 6 years to try and live up to that promise. In Birmingham, John Papke, WVTM 13.
Here's a look at the Congress and the balance of power at this point. This is the House of Representatives, Democrats maintaining the majority. Right now you can see they have 203 seats to Republicans 188. Still some races in the House that are undecided. Take a look at the Senate. Tuberville's victory flipping Alabama again for the GOP. Some races are still undecided. At least one seat we know looks like it's headed to a runoff at this point. In the weeks leading up to the election, we talked a lot about record-breaking absentee voting, but also the potential for setting new records on Election Day. A couple of hours ago, I spoke with Secretary of State John Merrill, who oversees our elections. We talked about results and turnout, and here's a little bit about what he told me.
We believe right now we've got more than 2.3 million people who've cast their ballot. Now, there's still some absentee numbers that had to be processed from some large counties yesterday. They're not going to make a difference in any of the statewide races. Some local races could be impacted. Provisional ballots are still outstanding. Certification will take place next week.
In terms of those absentee ballots, we got an update on the numbers today as well. More than 331,000 were requested. More than 318,000 successfully returned. One other thing to mention tonight, I asked the Secretary today about were there any security concerns like hacking attempts that came up over the past 24 to 48 hours, and he tells me there were none. Trussville voters are thanking businesses that help make their hours-long wait to vote in line a bit more comfortable. WVTM 13's Magdala Lusan explains what they did and why they did it.
From sunup to sundown, voters at Trussville City Hall were determined to have their voices heard Tuesday.
You can tell this election meant a lot to a lot of people.
That determination led local businesses like Kemp's Kitchen to step in. Marketing manager Tyler Cornelius says they served more than 300 cups of coffee and hot chocolate and gave out 100 cookies to people waiting in line.
Which one is give them some sugar, give them some kind of energy to stay on their feet and really just help them out, make it more comfortable time staying in line.
Voters waiting in line near Kemp's Kitchen walked a quarter mile, then ended up here at CrossFit Trussville. The owners opened up their doors and allowed anyone to use their bathrooms.
We had people taking medications that they needed. Nobody was ready for a 4 5-hour wait, so breastfeeding mothers, just a place to get warm.
CrossFit Trussville owner Andrew Rape played patriotic music to keep people going. He says the support from the voters online has been overwhelming.
It was a really, really special thing to see people enjoying themselves despite everything that's going on.
In Jefferson County, Magdala Lusant, WVTM 13.
5 of the 6 amendments to Alabama's Constitution also sailed through yesterday. One, though, is still too close to call. Amendment 1 changes language in the state constitution on the requirements to vote in our state. You can see this passing, 77% saying yes, 23% voting no. Amendment 2, that's the one that is still too close at this point. This proposes changes to the state judicial system, including expanding the Judicial Inquiry Commission. The others, they easily passed. Amendment 3, which expands the terms of appointed judges. That one 65-35. Amendment 4 also passing big, 67% yes to 33% no. This gives the state legislature permission to start the process of removing racist language from the state constitution. Last two amendments to mention, they're almost identical. They deal with applying the stand your ground law for churches into North Alabama counties. Amendment 5 applies to Franklin County. You can see that passing 72 to 28. Amendment 6 applying to Lauderdale, passing with those same numbers. Keep up with everything related to the election if you want to check the results in your area. We've got them right now for you on the WVTM 13 app. Just check out the Commitment 2020 section on your smartphone. An update now on COVID-19, a big increase in the state of cases, more than 1,400 confirmed cases over the past 24 hours. Here's a look at the latest numbers from the Alabama Department of Public Health. More than 197,000 total cases. 168,000 of those are confirmed, about 29,000 are considered probable. The state is confirming 17 additional deaths today, that number just below 2,800. And total presumed recoveries updated just a few moments ago. That is now just about 85,000. Hospitalizations, they are showing an upward trend here at home and across the country. Right now, 1,217 patients are being treated in hospitals all across the state of Alabama. 73 of those are at UAB. Across the country, the number in the hospital from coronavirus topped more than 50,000 this week. The number of cases rising sharply in the Midwest. The chief of the Oxford vaccine is optimistic it could be ready before Christmas. Andrew Pollard told UK lawmakers during a hearing today there's a small chance it will be revealed to work before the end of the year, but he stressed the data has to be reviewed by regulators before the vaccine can be distributed. He also added he didn't know a timeline on that. And in just 5 days, in-person learning is set to resume in the city of Birmingham, but this move is creating a whole new set of challenges for school leaders. Kindergarten through 8th grade students in the Birmingham City school system will be back in the classroom on Monday. This comes as the number of COVID cases in the area is climbing daily. In addition to keeping students and teachers safe in class, there's also concern about having enough substitute teachers should a teacher be forced off the job because of COVID-19.
There's a huge shortage. I mean, you can't blame them because if they catch the coronavirus, they don't have any benefits.
Birmingham City Schools received a large shipment of PPE last week to help minimize spread in the classroom. We're told students are going to be split into two groups, some going to class on Mondays and Tuesdays, the others on Thursdays and Fridays, and then Wednesday is a virtual day. There's troubling new data when it comes to COVID-19 among pregnant women, and WVTM 13's Chip Scarborough spoke to one of the state's top doctors about protecting moms-to-be and their unborn children.
New research from the CDC shows women who are pregnant and infected with COVID-19 are more likely to become severely ill or even die.
We certainly do know that pregnancy obviously is a time where, there are extra stresses on the body.
The study found some pregnant women with COVID may become sick enough to be admitted to the ICU and placed on a ventilator. There's also a greater risk for premature delivery.
My main message to pregnant women, I'm a pediatrician and also a public health officer, is to continue to carry out all the measures that you possibly can to reduce transmission of COVID-19.
Face coverings, hand sanitizer, and social distancing, also limiting your gatherings.
I mean, I know we all want to visit with friends and relatives, but now is the time to really minimize your contact with other persons.
In addition to taking measures necessary to prevent COVID, doctors urge pregnant